She hasn't visited me once, my mom sobbed to 30 relatives in the hospital lobby. My own daughter abandoned me when I needed her most. Every single aunt, uncle, and cousin turned to glare at me with absolute disgust, whispering about how selfish I was. I just stood there, letting them hurl their insults. But what none of them knew was that I brought receipts. My name is Chloe, and I am 33 years old. I work as a freelance graphic designer. That meant my schedule was always flexible. Because of that, I was always the family workhorse. I was the one expected to drop everything and handle the unglamorous emergencies, while my younger sister was always the prized child. For years, I did the heavy lifting behind the scenes while my sister got all the praise for simply existing. I was exhausted. I was overlooked. I was completely taken for granted. I spent my days picking up the pieces of everyone else's problems, breathing in the stale air of waiting rooms, and listening to the endless ticking of clocks, while I waited for a simple thank you that never came. I wasn't rich or glamorous like the fake image my sister constantly portrayed online, but I had something they didn't expect. I had undeniable proof of the truth. If your family made you feel like you weren't enough, subscribe to this community. Drop your story below. You are not alone. I know exactly how heavy it is to carry that weight, and I am reading every single comment. Click the hype button or like to show your support. Let's go. My mom suffered a severe medical scare that landed her in the hospital for a full month. It was a terrifying time. While my sister claimed she was too overwhelmed to help, I practically lived in the intensive care unit waiting room. I spent weeks managing her doctors, fetching meals, and keeping track of her medications. I smelled nothing but harsh antiseptic bleach and stale coffee for 14 straight days. 2 weeks in, my sister decided to organize a massive family video call with over 30 relatives. She set up a laptop right next to my mom's bed. During the call, my mom tearfully put on a tragic performance. She looked directly into the camera and claimed she had been rotting in her hospital bed completely alone. "I don't know what I did to make Chloe hate me," Mom cried on the screen. "She hasn't even called. Only my sweet youngest daughter is trying to save me." I could not believe what I was hearing. Relatives immediately began flooding my phone with hateful, vicious text messages. My phone buzzed endlessly against the plastic cafeteria table. They called me a monster. They called me heartless. They said I was a disgrace to the family. And the worst part was that I was literally sitting in the hospital cafeteria downstairs, eating a stale turkey sandwich, preparing to go back up to her room for the night shift. Things only escalated from there. My sister officially kicked me out of the extended family group chat. I was suddenly cut off from everyone. When I tried to text my aunts directly to explain the situation, I found out they had all blocked my phone number. They left me completely isolated from my own family network. Then came the public insult. My sister launched a public fundraising campaign on social media. She posted a tragic, highly edited photo of our mom looking frail. The caption made my blood boil. It read, "Raising funds for mom's care since her eldest daughter abandoned her duties. It is just us now." Donations poured in from outraged family members and sympathetic strangers. The comments were full of people dragging my name through the mud. Then came the final blow. Mom explicitly told the head nurse that I was estranged. She actually tried to have my name removed from the approved contact list so I could not even get medical updates on her recovery. I walked up to the nurse's station the next morning, and they refused to give me her charts. I cried in my car after the nurses turned me away. The steering wheel felt cold under my gripping hands. But the tears quickly turned to pure anger. I wiped my face. I stopped trying to defend myself to people who desperately wanted me to be the villain. They thought they could just rewrite history because I wasn't in the group chat to defend myself. They thought they controlled the narrative. What they didn't know was that the hospital's intensive care ward had incredibly strict security protocols. To even get onto the floor, you had to sign a security ledger at the front desk. You had to log your exact time of arrival and your exact time of departure. You also had to get a printed visitor badge with a time-stamped photograph every single day. I had a plan they never saw coming. I quietly went down to the hospital's administrative office. The room smelled like old paper and printer ink. I sat down with the security director and requested something that would blow their entire fake narrative out of the water. I wasn't completely alone. My cousin Leo quietly reached out to me. Leo had been alienated by the family years ago for refusing to lend them money for a bad investment. He knew exactly how manipulative they could be. He didn't believe their lies for a single second. Leo called me late one night and warned me about what was coming. He told me that my sister was planning a massive welcome home party for Mom's discharge. But it wasn't just a party. It was a planned ambush. They fully intended to publicly humiliate me in front of everyone and demand I hand over my entire life savings to cover the medical bills I supposedly ignored. Sure enough, my sister sent me a smug, formal invitation in the mail a few days later. She even added a nasty handwritten note on the back. "Show up and pay your share, or you are dead to us." They really thought they had backed me into a corner. They thought they had already won the war. I RSVP'd yes. I packed my bag, grabbed my documentation, and drove to the party, ready to let them dig their own graves. I parked my car and walked up to my mom's house. I could hear loud music and laughing from the driveway. I opened the front door and walked right into the living room. It was packed with 30 relatives, colorful balloons, and a giant welcome home banner hanging from the ceiling. The room went dead silent the second I stepped through the door. The music was awkwardly shut off. My sister stepped to the center of the room, flanked by my mother. She looked at me with pure venom. "You have a lot of nerve showing up here empty-handed after leaving Mom to die," she spat. "You owe her a public apology and a massive check." I didn't yell. I felt completely cold, calm, and entirely in control. I just calmly unzipped my tote bag and pulled out a thick, laminated binder. I dropped it onto the glass coffee table with a very loud thud. The sound echoed in the quiet room. "That is a certified copy of the hospital's security ledger," I announced clearly so every single aunt and uncle could hear me. "It contains 47 signed visitor logs with my name, time-stamped security photos of me in the lobby, and signed character letters from the nursing staff. I was there every single day." I slowly turned my gaze to my sister. "Your name isn't in that book a single time." My uncle slowly picked up the binder. He started flipping through the pages, his eyes going wide. The color completely drained from my sister's face. My mom began stuttering, caught entirely in her own web of lies, as the relatives crowded around the undeniable proof. I didn't wait around for their pathetic apologies. I looked at my sister one last time. I told them to enjoy the fraud investigation I had just initiated regarding her online fundraiser. I turned around and walked right out the front door. The cool night air hit my face, and I took a deep, refreshing breath. My phone blew up for weeks with relatives begging for forgiveness and demanding my sister return their donations. I ignored every single one of them. I finally realized that stepping away from people who actively plot your downfall isn't abandonment. It is self-preservation, and it is the most empowering choice I have ever made. If you've been embarrassed in front of others because of a lie someone told about you, I want to hear it. Subscribe and share your story in the comments. Your truth deserves to be heard, and you are not the villain they made you out to be. Click the hype button to help others realize they are not alone, and to boost this for everyone who has ever been falsely accused. Standing up for yourself is tough. If you've been there, subscribe and become part of our community. Let me know this story helped by clicking hype. And tell me where you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel.